everyone. This is Ashley Ellenboss with Sky House Herb School and Apothecary, and I'm recording this as part of our Devotional Wednesdays. And our topic for today is beauty and yoga. And I remember when I first started on this path many years ago. I think I was 12 when I took my first yoga class here in Minneapolis with my aunt. But I really started getting into herbal medicine, yoga, more natural living when I was in high school. So I think I was probably maybe 16, 17. I started wearing my own clothes. I had super long hair. I listened to the Grateful Dead and went on fish tour and traveled in a minibus across the country and went to rainbow gatherings. So there was this, from a very young age, I've been interested in this counterculture. But at the time, I thought it was um, a more real kind of living, close to the earth. You wear recycled clothes, you eat vegetarian, you listen to certain music. But as I got older and as I started getting more into the spiritual side of this particular kind of, again, culture, and I started practicing yoga at the age of 18 and lived in Asheville, North Carolina, which is sort of like a hippie haven, and started, yeah, getting more interested in health, wellness, practicing meditation. I started to think that meditation and yoga equaled you have to live this very austere lifestyle, which kind of interestingly, at least in that culture, included a lot of drugs and drinking, which are probably not very yogic. But again, that whole culture was very much set around music, this very earthy lifestyle. And now, that I've been practicing yoga and into herbs for 25 plus years, I realized that this idea of a certain way we have to look to be on a certain sort of spiritual level is kind of all inverted. And I was really thinking about this today because I just went and saw a hairstylist. So I don't know, I got my hair done, and she taught me kind of how to do, like, how to curl it. And I've just been having a kind of more of an interest in beauty products, hair products, makeup. And I think like 15, 20 years ago, I thought all of that stuff was very superficial and not very spiritual. And again, you have to have this very natural look in order to be a spiritual person. And as I'm entering into my fourth decade, I'm in my fourth decade, so I'm not entering anymore. But as I'm exploring it, I'm realizing that there's a whole world of beauty that is not about escaping from a natural state, but just simply enhancing the beauty that is inside. And so rather than saying it's either you're supernatural and you don't wear makeup and you don't do hair products and you wear hemp clothing only, or you're superficial and you wear makeup and you use hair products and maybe you get a few little augmentations here and there, then it's an either or. It's either all this or all that. And I don't think that's true, because as I'm getting older, I'm meeting more and more people who are on a high level of spiritual advancement and years of devotional practices, who still care about the way they look. They still celebrate. And in India, this is very, very true. They wear these beautiful saris. They wear makeup. They wear the dark eyeliner. They wear these beautiful jewels, right? Um, and they dance and they do exercises to keep their body in good shape. And it's spiritual. It's not an either or. And so in the West, again, I think we think that it's either you're in the Kardashians and you're so, in this very, completely external based life, or again, you have to be this very austere yogi, that we're missing, I think, the dance and the fun of having this human body, which is to be curious and playful with it. And so we can go through different phases. We can go through a phase where it's like, for a phase I had some dreadlocks. And I just, again, did that make me more spiritual? No, I was just curious about that particular part of the culture and that particular idea of beauty. And and then I've gone into other, like, oh, there's yoga brands of clothing, so I'm going to try these new. I'm not going to say the names of the brands because you all know them, right? I'm going to go wear all these particular yoga clothes, and then I'm going to be more yogic, or I'm going to rebel from all the yoga industry, and I'm going to wear my natural cotton that was organically dyed, and and I'm going to be in that. But they're all part of, like, none of them are better or worse. And so we need to get out of, I think, this comparison of what's more spiritual and less spiritual, and just say, how curious are you being? Like, go for it. Wear all black, right? Wear the dark eyeliner. Go into that world and just be curious. What does it feel like to dress like that? To behave in those certain kinds of ways that you can access when you wear all dark colors, right? And and go to the other side. Try wearing all white linen clothes for a while, and try using natural oils on your skin, and go for more of that sort of glowy look, right? And see how that feels. Try that on. Be curious about it. But none of it is you. None of it is you, because you are a spirit soul that is beyond the body. So have fun with the physical. Have fun. Why not just embrace the body you have? And I was thinking about Mary Oliver, who is a poet that I love, and you all know how much I love her because I read her all the time. And do you think she would talk about, when the waves are lapping across the rocks, or lapping across, a large beach? Do you think the waves should hide from the sunlight sparkling on top? Is it, oh, you're being too flashy, wave, you better hide yourself, don't be, you're being very immodest by letting the sun sparkle on your back like that? No. Mary Oliver would say, let me notice that specific way at this angle. You are sparkling, little wave. Look at that shine, that shimmer, that glow. Look at you. And that wave is going to crash, and it's going to completely change as it gets older. But in that moment, celebrate that brightness, celebrate the glisten. And then as the wave changes, can we celebrate its slow tumble, the grayness and some of the earth that gets pulled up into it, and as it creates more heavy lines and dark contrast? Can we be just as curious and celebratory about that as the fresh little wave, right? Like, why does it have to be either or? Why does it have to be beautiful if it's this way, or spiritual if it's this way, and not that way? So I bring this up because in the practice of bhakti, which is something that I feel like, for someone who really was studying more karma yoga and jnana yoga, these like the more physical yoga, like the Ashtanga yoga, which is more than just physical, but you get what I'm saying. That there's this idea that you have to renounce the physical material world in order to find that elevated spiritual consciousness. But in bhakti, we say, no, embrace this material world. It is part, it is not, the spiritual nature is inside of it all. So just don't miss, it's like, don't miss the forest for the trees. Like, don't think that you have to only see it one way, that there is soul inside of everything that is natural. And you are natural. I'm natural. I'm not unnatural because I wear makeup and now I'm into figuring out like hairstyles, and like, I still like God and nature and herbs and yoga and finding communities and singing together. It's like, that doesn't have to disappear just because I'm curious about what my hair looks like short, right? Why do we do that to each other? Why do we judge each other so, you know, inhumanely? It's unhuman. to think that humans have to look a certain way. We wouldn't say that about other cultures. We wouldn't say, why do you wear this and not that? We'd say, oh, that's part of their culture. So we can do the same thing with each other and say, look at everyone as a soul, everyone is spiritual underneath whatever it is, however they decide to dress or they decide to decorate themselves. And, it reflects your values. So, you might have certain values that come out in the way you dress. But that, your values being, they're not higher or lower. They're just a different taste. And you know what? 10 years ago, you might have had dreadlocks and wore tie dyes. We can't know that about each other. We just can't know what we were like before or what we're turning into. What are we evolving into? You might end up being the shaman that lives in a cave in Hawaii who has very, very powerful medicines. But right now, you look like a Wall Street hustler. We don't know. So I hope this message has maybe gotten you to think a little bit more openly about our physical beauty and our physical style and our physical tastes of what we like and don't like, and maybe even become a little more curious about what is it that you're trying to say in the way that you dress. Um, and is it due for a little bit of a change? And it's not an upgrade or downgrade, just a shift. Is there a way that there's a new part of you that might be held back from exploring itself because you're afraid to change your appearance? So, food for thought. Let me know what you think. Let me know how your needs and desires and interests and the things that you're wearing are changing, how they tell me about your own phases. What phases have you gone through? And what would have happened if you never left that last phase behind, right? So tell me about your stories. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll continue to post these on Wednesdays. I missed my Monday deadline. I'm so sorry for my last installment of my lunar and herb talk. We were in Disney World, so that's a whole conversation, but I didn't get to record it before, you can imagine you can't record something when you're in a hotel room with two screaming kids who are, it just, no, not going to work. So I'm going to record it later this week. So keep your eyes out and ears tuned for that last installment where we talk about the waning series, the waning phase of the moon and how that relates to herbs and growing plants. That's all for now. Stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your continued support. I am so grateful to all of my subscribers, my listeners, my watchers, and let me know if this was helpful and if there's any other content or subjects you'd like me to talk on for these devotional Wednesdays. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.